Hello everyone, my name is Hasif Aiman and I'm from matrix code 2021117541 group EH2432B, and today I was going to be talking about Dabiha. Most of us Muslims know it as halal slaughter. In the Islamic law, Dhabiha was pronounced Zabiha by the people from the non-Arab Muslim countries. It is a prescribed method of ritual slaughter of lawful halal animal. Dhabiha is regulated by a set of rules intended to ensure the health of the animal to be slaughtered and the conformance to the Islamic religious law, which is derived from the Quran and the Hadiths. So, this method of slaughtering lawful animal has several conditions to be fulfilled. The name of Allah or Bismillah uh, has to be called by the butchers upon the slaughter of each halal animal separately, and it should be consist of a swift, deep incision with a very sharp knife on the throat, cutting the windpipe, jugular veins, and carotid arteries of the both sides, but relieving the spinal cord intact. The, according to law of Dabiha Halal, certain prerequisites must be made before the animal is slaughtered. The first one is the animal must not be a forbidden substance as per the Quran and the Sunnah. One of it was a pork or dog, but or carnivorous animal. Or yes, the slaughter itself must be done by a sane and, or what should we say, a mentally competent adult Muslim, or a young man who has just reached a puberty. While the textual evidence in the Quran suggests that no other name than Allah must be pronounced by slaughtering, some Muslim scholars hold that mentioning God's name at the time of slaughter is a must. They differ as to whether or not forgetting to do so or leaving it off intentionally at the time of the slaughter render the sacrifice void and the meat thus forbidden for consumption. Majority of scholars hold the opinions mentioning God's name is obligatory. They support the Quranic views of slaughtering as the supreme law. They also agrees that if the other than God's name is mentioned, then this will be forbidden. In order for this tradition to take part in the United States, certain governmental regulation enforced by the Act, such as the Humane Slaughter Act, require various prerequisites to be in place before any ritual or slaughter of any kind to be permitted. This includes faiths such as Islam for halal processing and Judaism for kosher processing. Regulation includes that animal to be completely insensitive to pain before killing it. So what I try to say is that this in the United States, uh, the animal need to be stunned before they are being slaughtered. Such method may vary, such as using carbon dioxide gas or electrocutions, electronarcosis. So, mostly in the Western countries, there's always been a debate whether slaughter in halal manner is more humane compared to various non-halal methods that exist. In the non-halal method, animals are required to stun prior to slaughter because of the country regulations. However, some exemptions may be given by the countries because of on the religious ground. Well, organizations like RSPCA, Farm Animal Welfare Council, PETA, and British Veterinary Association, they have their opinion about Dabiha. The ISCPA argues that killing the animal without stunning them may cause them unnecessary suffering. Me, as someone who slaughter animal, uh, we do realize that such thing may happen, the unnecessary suffering. But should the slaughter is done perfectly, the animal death would be sort of instant. Activist group PETA Cold halal slaughter is a prolonged torment, saying that animals fight and gasp for their last breath, struggling to stand while the blood drains from their neck, which I can refer from the unnecessary suffering. Farm Animal Welfare Council say cutting an animal throat is such a massive injury that it would result a very significant pain and distress in the period before insensibility supervenes. And the British Veterinary Association call for all animals to be effectively stunned before slaughter. So there are few non-Muslim peoples that eat halal meat, especially in the Western countries. So, in terms of taste, it is a halal meat is often tastier than the generic American meat, and it is also healthier to consume as the blood is disposed from the carcasses. Because as a Muslim, we drain the blood from the carcasses because the blood may contains unhealthy germs, which may cause the meat to be spoiled earlier. And every halal slaughterhouse follows strict regulation and guidelines, and these guidelines also includes cleanliness, sanitations, which kept the and some giving the animal proper space to reduce stress of the animal itself. Because it's, uh, if you're making if the difference between the stressed animal meats and non-unstressed animal meat is that unstressed animal meat contain higher lactic acid, which is produced from the muscle glycogen. This will cause the meat to be more tender and tastier than the stressed meat. And there are many differences of the halal meat and generic meat. I will illuminate three, which is lifetime, substance, and stun. So, the halal meat, the animals is often treated properly, provided enough space to roam, and it is given a clean water, vegetarian food, and fresh air. However, generic meat often they are transported from the farm to a massive slaughterhouse and put in a cramped pen. This will cause the animal to have stress situation as there's no room to go. And in halal meat, no antibiotics or hormone were injected into the animals. And for the generic meat, antibiotics and hormone are injected to animal to rapidly fatten the animals. So, in halal meat, we do not provide any of those substances because these substances uh, uh, may link to the future diseases if consumed in a for a long term. And and nowadays in the organic meats are much more popular. It has more appeal for the halal community. And and the main differences between halal and generic meats, which is one of the most popular one, is stunning was not provided for the animal to be slaughtered for the halal meat. Uh, However, like I said at the first at the my one of the very first line, that should the knife is swift and sharp and and the incision is done perfectly, the line with the animal will be killed instantly. And as the animal instantly, the blood from the animal will be disposed as they bled out. And the generic meat, the animals are often stunned using carbon dioxide gas. Sometimes a metal bolt is shot into the brain, an electric shock, or something similar in common. Moving on to why a halal meat is better. The idea behind the halal is that the Muslims should take care of good care of their body. So what they eat should matters in order to take care of it. So true halal farmers adhere to high standard of quality and cleanliness. And the farmer must practice proper sanitation in order to be certified as halal because uh, the animals are stressed prior to slaughter. The lactic acid produced from the muscle glycogen increase and thus creating tender and tastier meat. Some people may say that the blood is required in the meat to make the meat more juicier, but that is not an issue here. Should it's cooked properly, it will just taste better than the regular meat. And a halal meat also have a longer shelf life because compared to generic meat due to lack of bacteria. Why? Because the lack of blood does not provide a space for the bacteria to grow. So in conclusions, the halal method of slaughtering is holistic in a way that it ensures the animal is treated humanely and does not experience the slightest bit of unnecessary torture and pain. And furthermore, it is more of a suitable option for those who consider themselves a conscious consumer. Halal meat may sound strange uh, and foreign to many. But it is simply healthier and more flavorful. And sometimes it is cheaper. Opinions do vary, but the science behind this can be contested. But you can also go out and give some of those halal meat a try. That's all for me. Thank you very much.